Okay, so this is not a detailed video and it's not a planned video. In fact, I plan to deal with this topic much later on, if at all. But I thought I'd just do a quick short video on the 19-year Metonic cycle just to show the calculations. So I'm sure you'll have many questions if you've never looked at any of this. What is the Metonic cycle? What does this mean 7 leap years? What does this mean 12 regular years? None of that will be covered in this video. It's for those who already kind of know or are just getting a taste of this topic and maybe they can do further research. So 19-year Metonic cycle, apparently 7 of those years will be leap years containing 13 months and 12 years will be regular years containing 12 months. So let's add those up. A lunar year consists of 354 days. Now, if 12 of those years are regular years with nothing added, then that would be the one lunar year, 354 days times 12. So that is how many days there would be altogether in the 12 regular lunar years of 354 days each, 4,248 days. Now keep that number in mind. But now if the 7 years that are longer years, the 7 longer years, the 7 leap years have got an extra month added, how many days is in that year, in the leap year? So I would assume it's the regular 354 days plus, let's just say an average of 30 days. We know it's 29 or 30 days in a lunar month, but let's just use 30. So that is what would occur in a leap year, 384 days. And we said that 12 years were regular years containing 12 lunar months, but 7 years contain apparently 13 months. So now if you do this times 7 equals 2688. So that's how many days have now occurred within the 7 leap years. So I said before, the 12 regular years were 4,248 days. So if we add those two up together, (6,936). So that's how many days altogether now in that 19-year Metonic cycle using lunar months of 29 or 30 days, which averages out to 354 days in a lunar year, plus the extra 30 days for those 7 leap years. This is how many days have now occurred in that 19-year Metonic cycle. Now, if you divide that by what we have today as the solar or Gregorian calendar, 365 days, that gives you almost exactly 19. Now, I'm guessing if we used an additional 29, because obviously we don't know when it comes to the lunar month, it's 29 or 30 days. So I'm guessing it's always coming to about this 19. Now, what's giving me chills as I just recorded this is that the ayah I'm referencing is 696. So I don't know if you noticed in those calculations, 696 occur when I was doing those calculations. But anyway, that's a side point. This ayah, Allah seems to say that He has made the sun and the moon for hisab. Yeah, those who know hisab, calculation. It's not one over the other. And as you just saw right now in the calculations, adding this 13th month seems to keep everything in sync with the calculation of the sun as well. So you still use the lunar months for calculating the months, but you keep the names of these months in sync with the seasons by adding this 13th month. As shown in Surah Rahman as well, in verse number 5, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الشمس والقمر بحسبان. There's the hisab again, the sun and the moon. But it's definitely 12 months that Allah has given us in this verse in At-Tawbah 36. It's definitely 12 months, and 4 of those months are forbidden months or sanctioned months, sacred months. And here again as well in 10:5, Surah Yunus, verse number 5, the sun and the moon are both important in being able to calculate the number of years. The phases of the moon help us calculate the number of the years and the count. Yeah, there is hisab again. And in Surah Al-Isra, verse 12, Surah 17, verse 12, you've got here again, and that you may know the number of years and the hisab, yeah, the counting. This is all about the counting of time. But more importantly in this one, and everything we have explained in detail. We don't take Allah's words as slight. For Allah says, and everything we have explained in detail. We means Allah has explained in detail. Right, so interestingly, the number of months is 12, but if you look at this in Corpus Quran Concordance, you'll find 11, but I've just figured it out which one it is that is missing, and you can go to 936 of all verses as well. 936, and you'll find Ash-Shuhuri is plural months, but Shahran here is not plural. They've got that translated as months, but that is not plural, that's singular. So that's your 12th missing one. Just as you can see here in 4615, this one is Shahran, the same word again, month. You can see that, put that in brackets, it's month. So anyway, the point is that you'll find that the word month, singular, is mentioned in the Quran 12 times. And again, so if you go and look for the number of years, the number of times the word year or years is mentioned in the Quran, it's 19 times, although they've got it here as 18. But if you go into the Quran dictionary, you will find that there is 19 here. If you ignore that top one, that is not a year, but the rest is 19, and that is in reference to the years, and the bottom ones are 7. So here you've got 7 in singular, sanatin, yeah, years. So you've got the mentioning of the number of years. Sorry, that's year, so that's singular. This is very bad. That's singular, sanatin, 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 that's singular. So 7 occurrences of the word year, and then over here you've got sinina 12 times. So you've got 11 here, but then you got this 12th one here. So you've got 12 times sinina is mentioned, which is years plural, and you've got 7 times sanatin or sanatan, which is singular. And obviously you ignore this one, which is not year. This is connected to the same root, but it's another word, flash. So now if the Quran has the word month mentioned 12 times, and the word year is mentioned 19 times, 7 times in singular and 12 times in plural, and apparently the word day is mentioned in the Quran 365 times. So the question is, why do we follow a lunar calendar which gives us 354 days every single year? Yeah, that would be too much for me to go into right now, but if you do a quick Google search, you'll find 365 occurrences of the word day mentioned in the Quran. So seeing as I've made the video this long, I might as well finish it off. This video began with the calculation of time, and it's going to end with the calculation of time. So very fittingly, Surah Al-kahf, verse 25. وَلَبِثُوا فِي كَهْفِهِمْ 300 سِنِينَ وَازْدَادُوا تِسْعًا. And they remained in their cave for 300 years and add 9. You'll find at least 10 translations in here out of 25 confirming solar and lunar calculation. You'll find even Tafsir Ibn Kathir and Jalalain confirming solar and lunar calculation in this ayah, in this verse. And if you go back a bit to verse 12, ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاهُمْ لِنَعْلَمَ أَيُّ الْحِزْبَيْنِ أَحْصَىٰ لِمَا لَبِثُوا أَمَدًا. Then we raise them up, that we make evident which of the two parties best calculated the time they had remained. which of the two parties calculated best. So now, as I said, the video began with the calculation of time, looking at the 19-year Metonic cycle, looking at the Gregorian calendar, the solar cycle of 365 days, and looking at the lunar cycle of 354 days. So back to the 300 years, add 9 in Surah Kahf, verse 25. So if you do 300 times, so if it's the lunar calendar, which is 354 days, and that is 11 days short of the solar calendar, 365 days. So if we take those 11 days that are missing, times by those 300 years, then we get 3,300 days altogether. Now if you divide that by the 365 days that Allah mentions in the Quran, 365 times, then you get 9 years to be added to the 300 years. And Allah knows best. This is just a video to see what is the right way of calculation. What are we missing, if anything? Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanallah wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.